Good morning. We have a new tornado warning that has just been issued. Showing up, this is from the National Weather Service. This box showing up, as you can see, from Greer, north of Greer to Landrum to Mayo. That is a tornado warning that has just been issued by the National Weather Service. Griffin, have you had a chance to see when they're expecting that tornado warning to continue until?
Okay, so that looks like it's going to be continuing until 8:30 for the northeastern corner of Greenville County.
This line of showers and thunderstorms has been spawning toward severe thunderstorm warnings across the upstate. And again, it looks like this big thunderstorm, as you can see, just east of Travelers Rest, has perhaps been the one that has caused the triggering of this tornado warning until 8:30 for parts of Greenville County and into Spartanburg County.
Okay, so this is going to be including for, let's see if we can get some more information for you guys.
All right, well, Griffin researches that. It's been a very stormy morning across the region with showers and thunderstorms breaking out ahead of this cold air that is working its way through the south. And this cold front has been spawning these strong thunderstorms with powerful winds, frequent lightning, heavy downpours of rain that you may already experience. And this is the second tornado warning that has been issued by the National Weather Service. They do this whenever they detect that rotation within the cloud that has the potential of spawning a tornado that could reach ground. Exactly where that is will be determined here as we take a closer look.
Okay, so this is going to be happening 4 miles east of Lake Robinson. It's moving pretty quickly at around 50 miles an hour. If you're anywhere near Lake Robinson, if you're north of Greer, in that northern section of Spartanburg County, up near, kind of up into the Boiling Springs area. If you're up in that part of our viewing area, take shelter. We've got some possible embedded rotation within the line of these storms that are rolling through. So get to an interior room away from doors and windows, and make sure that you're off the roadways for any of you don't want to be out driving for any reason at this point, especially across the northern sections of Spartanburg County.
This looks like it's just south of Landrum, but of course North Greenville College would be in this particular area too. Again, as you mentioned, near Lake Robinson is included in this tornado warning area that will continue until 8:30. So,
and just make sure that you're not driving out in the middle of this. So switching back over to the next rad. Right about there. So the most dangerous part of the storm at this point is right on top of the county line between Greenville and Spartanburg counties right now. So if you're watching us in that northern sections of Lake Robinson, that right there, this little area of rotation here, that's where the possible tornado is. So it's going to be coming up on State Highway 357 here in the next couple of minutes, and then once it continues then that northeastward path, that would put it over near Mascot on top of US Highway 176 within the next few minutes.
Typically in the south, tornadoes are traveling across the countryside anywhere from 35 to 50 miles an hour. And this has been a very fast-moving line of showers and thunderstorms we've been watching throughout the morning. So this is why the National Weather Service gives people a heads up way out in front of a potential system, because no one knows exactly when a funnel cloud is going to come out of that severe thunderstorm and make contact with ground. That's the unknown factor. So we have to warn people out ahead of that to take precautions and be prepared so that you're not caught. Again, think in terms, it's moving like the speed of a car across the countryside. So we try to give people enough heads up out ahead of time so they can get to that safe place, that interior room in their home or out of their car into a home and away from windows and doors, so they can be prepared for that storm passing by.
Right. So what's happening is we've got this big line of storms that's sweeping across the area now, and within that leading edge of the line, sometimes you can get little spin-ups of rotation that develop along it. And if you're watching us in Greer, this is just to the north of downtown Greer. Greer is not included. Downtown Greer itself is not included with the tornado warning. This only includes now just the northern sections of Spartanburg County, where we have the most dangerous part of the storm. Again, the tornado warning continues until 8:30 a.m. For northern Spartanburg County. So that includes Inman. It includes I believe it includes Campobello. Does not include Landrum. Landrum, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, but if you're in Campobello, if you're in Inman, anywhere along U.S. Highway 176, stay sheltered and stay off the roads if you can help it. Just to the south of Foothills Parkway is where we've got the most dangerous part of the storm here. So good idea to just stay put for a moment and wait for this storm to pass as we work to get a little bit more information from the Weather Service about the storm.
It's moving very quickly. This line of thunderstorms, again, has been traveling very quickly across the southeast. And we've seen in the last couple of days reports of tornado damage and fatalities from severe weather. And this same line of showers and thunderstorms has been moving quickly through Georgia, now through South Carolina, and racing across the upstate, producing heavy downpours of rain, strong gusty winds, and the winds can exceed 60 miles an hour, and that's why the severe thunderstorm warnings are issued, and these extend out all the way to the South Carolina, North Carolina line. All right.
So again, if the tornado warning continues until around 8:30 a.m. For northern Spartanburg County, for folks that are just tuning in, let's do a quick reset for you. A lot of folks just tuning in and wondering what's going on since we've had this big line of storms that's come in. We've got a big line of storms that's been racing in from northeast Georgia. So much so that our live super dial before appears to have gone offline. It's showing some older data, so I'm switching back over to the NextRad from the National Weather Service. So we had data, but I think once it got to the Doppler site, it might have taken the data offline for a moment. But switching over to the NextRad site, we've got this line of storms that's really moving quickly, around 50 miles an hour across northern Lawrence County up into northern Spartanburg County. If you're watching us in Greenville County, you're in the clear. There was a brief moment where the tornado warning included parts of Greenville County, but now the most dangerous part of the storm is in northern Spartanburg County. So this includes Inman, this includes Campobello, does not include downtown Spartanburg. If you're watching in downtown Spartanburg, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, but as far as any tornadic potential, it's going to be passing to the north of downtown Spartanburg. And if we switch over to velocity, there is, a very small little area of rotation right on top of, just north of Mascot there, just southeast of Campobello. So the more dangerous part of the storm that we're concerned with looks to be passing just to the south of Campobello. And it's going to be coming up on I-26 here in a moment, right near that State Highway 11 exit. So if you're zooming in even tighter here, if you're familiar with any of these road names, now's a good idea to seek shelter. Compton Bridge Road, Foster Road, anybody who lives along I-26 in northern Spartanburg County, Miller Farm Road, Edwards Road, Rock Hill Church Road, and Dixon Road. These are the places that you want to stay sheltered for sure, as we have a little embedded area of rotation within this line of storms that's coming in. If we switch over to the debris product, we're not seeing any clear indication of debris getting thrown around. All this little, typically what you would look for is a little blue dot that's on top of the same spot where the rotation is, and they're not quite aligned. You see the rotation right there, just to the northeast of Mascot, and you have a little signature southeast of there, but they're not in the same spot. So that's at least a good sign. But nevertheless, stay sheltered if you're in northern Spartanburg County, because you've got a tiny little area of rotation that could be on the verge of producing a tornado, if not already. So again, zooming out a little bit further again, the worst part of the storm is passing Mascot right now, right near Campobello, right near Inman. These northern parts of Spartanburg County look to be in the immediate path of where the most dangerous part of the storm is. So again, the tornado warning continues until 8:30 a.m. for folks in northern Spartanburg County, and we'll stick with this as it continues.
Once again, a reminder, should you find yourself in the path of a tornado, these tornado warnings are issued when there's rotation detected by National Weather Service Doppler system. Then, of course, they send out these warnings so we can give people in advance of these severe thunderstorms some heads up and a chance to get to their safe place. No one knows when a tornado will actually leave the cloud and make that funnel that we're all familiar with and come down to ground and start to do damage. It can happen anywhere along a path. And so we have to give people a heads up way ahead because, again, consider these storms traveling at 35 to 50 miles an hour, racing across the countryside. You have to extend that box out a good ways to warn those communities, again, because no one knows exactly when it may touch ground. So a tornado warning continued till 8:30 in this area that's highlighted in red, which takes it, as you can see, from Boiling Springs all to the north of Mayo into parts of North Carolina, probably before long. But again, here's that line of severe thunderstorms showing up as the red and yellow on the screen, and heavy downpours of rain, as you may have experienced already. Frequent lightning and strong gusty winds have been associated with this system, this line of showers and thunderstorms. And again, this is our second tornado warning of the morning that has been issued, and Griffin has been tracking the location on the map to give you an idea of where it potentially is.
So again, here's the storm track for you. It's not a really pronounced area of rotation, but I've drawn a track on it for you. These are the communities that are going to be in the path of this. New Prospect, it's going to be moving in that direction over the next 5 minutes or so, around 8:13. Little Africa at 8:15. Cooley Springs, Fingerville Elementary School, moving in there about the next 9 minutes. And then Cooley Springs itself at around 11 minutes away from you. So again, if you're watching us, the most dangerous part of the storms at this point are going to be in northern Spartanburg County. Doing a quick reset for you, we've had a big line of storms that's been racing across the area for most of the morning thus far, about the past 2 hours or so. It has now moved its way into Spartanburg County. For folks that are tuning in Greenville County, looks like you guys are all clear with this particular line of storms. The most immediate area that we're concerned about is Spartanburg County. For folks watching in Lawrence County, you're under severe thunderstorm warning, but that little line of storms is really quickly moving into Union County. So Lawrence County, you're about to be done with this. Spartanburg County, you're about to get some really rough weather here in the next 5 to 10 minutes, especially downtown Spartanburg. From everywhere in I-85 and points south, at this point, it's just straight line winds that we're seeing. It's northern Spartanburg County where we could have a possible, brief spin-up tornado that's embedded within the line. So again, if you're watching us in Campobello, if you're watching us in New Prospect, if you're watching us right near North Pacolet, this little area of northern Spartanburg County, as you go up towards Rutherford County up I-26, that's where the most concerning part of the severe weather's happening. So switching back over to the next rad for you. Again, we'll get a new scan here in the next couple of minutes, but for everyone watching in that northwestern part of Spartanburg County, they have trimmed the warning at least. So if you're watching us and you're along State Highway 357, you guys are all clear. The worst of the weather's past you. But if you're in Mascot, if you're in Inman, if you're in New Prospect, and if you're in Campobello, stay put for just probably the next 5 or 10 minutes or so until we can give you an all clear. The warning itself goes until 8:30 a.m. for northern Spartanburg County. Downtown Spartanburg is about to get some pretty rough weather of their own, but it's mostly just going to be straight line winds. So again, doing a quick reset for you here. This is how the line has progressed over the past, about the past 2 hours or so. And it's now moved through Greenwood. It's now moved through Lawrence. It's now making its way towards the far eastern part of our area. So we're almost done with it. But for at least the next 10 to 20 minutes in northern Spartanburg County, stay sheltered and stay off the roads if you can help it.
As we've been saying throughout the morning, this is a very fast-moving system, and therefore the National Weather Service has been issuing these severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado watches and tornado warnings. The entire state of South Carolina has been under a watch from the mountains all the way down to Hilton Head. But there have been 2 now tornado warnings issued across the upstate from rotation that they've detected in these thunderstorm clouds, and we're continuing to track that area. Showing up on the screen right here, this small area in Spartanburg County, as you can see, as it continues to make its way toward the east, toward Cherokee and northern Cherokee County, perhaps in the next little bit. But until 8:30, that tornado warning still in effect. Now, should you find yourself in the path of a tornado, we tell people all the time, always go downstairs. If you have a two or three story home, go to the lowest level you can, and an interior room away from windows and doors provides you the safest place. Obviously, you don't want to be impacted by the wind causing debris to come through the windows. So downstairs is always better. Looks like we've got a new block that has been issued.
Yeah, that's right, Dale. This is a new tornado warning. This is going to be including the northern sections of Lawrence County as well as Union County. We just got word in the chat room from the Weather Service. They've got a little area of rotation that they're watching that is northeast of Clinton. So this is going to include downtown Union. If you're watching us in downtown Union, this is a new tornado warning that's been issued. It's going to be in effect until 8:45. Let me give you some of the communities that'll be in the path of this. So the storm itself is going to be near Union within the next 10 minutes or so. So if you're just tuning in, if you're near Cross Keys, if you're near Union, and you're anywhere within the communities we mentioned, get to a safe spot. Get to an interior room away from doors and windows. Switch it over to velocity so we can try to find some embedded rotation. I see two little distinct areas here where we might have something. You've got something here, and then you've got something here. Both of these are moving pretty fast up towards the northeast at around 50 to 55 miles per hour. So taking that off real quick. If we draw this out, I'll put the storm track on for you so we can get an idea of where this is headed. Moving northeast at around 50 miles per hour, that would put it in Union within the next 10 to 15 minutes. It would put it in Bonham at around 8:31, Adamsburg at around 8:36, and Lockhart at around 8:39. So that is the second tornado warning that that's in effect right now. We've got one for that northern section of Lawrence County. If you're in downtown Clinton, they mentioned Clinton there in the chat room, but the actual circulation itself is probably going to be passing north of there. So if you're in downtown Union, get to shelter if you can help it. And we have another new tornado warning that was just issued for Polk County and Rutherford County. So it looks like the tornado warning for Spartanburg County has now expired. Time right now is 8:14. We've got some pretty fast moving updates here. Tornado warning for Spartanburg County, that has now expired. You're just getting straight line winds at this point. But now we have another tornado warning that was just issued for Polk County and Rutherford counties. This one is going to be in effect for until 8:45 as well. Again, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. So if you're watching us along North Carolina 108, if you're watching us along U.S. Highway 174, if you're in the western sections of the Suburban Road, Flower Way, V.S. Dalton Road, Carson Farms Drive, any of these places that are west of Rutherfordton, up towards Green Hill, kind of along the county line between Polk and Rutherford counties, that's one spot you definitely want to stay sheltered. If you're driving on the side of the road and we've got the radio broadcast on, maybe you want to pull over to the side of the road and pull over into a convenience store, anywhere that will let you in. You definitely don't want to be on the roadways this time. If we zoom out a little bit further, we've got two tornado warnings that are happening now. One that is in Union County, and we've got another that's up towards Polk and Rutherford counties, which we just heard about. So
from Cross Keys, as you can see, there's that big thunderstorm just south of Cross Keys making its way toward the Union area. Right. And again, till 8:30, we're under a tornado warning in that community. So drive very carefully. If you happen to find yourself on the roads, best advice, obviously, is stay home until this line of thunderstorms makes its way quickly across the upstate and out of our region.
Right, so this embedded within the line, there's a possible area of rotation that is going to be moving into Union within the next 10 to 15 minutes. So Union, get to an interior room away from doors and windows if you can help it. A closet is great, bathroom is great. If you have a basement, go there, but it's not the good news is that at this point we don't have any confirmation of debris that's being lofted on radar. I'll check it real quick just to make sure. And again, yeah, we have little areas along the line that could very briefly spin up into a tornado. Doesn't matter so much if you have straight line winds, and we're seeing that all up and down the line. So it's a situation you want to take seriously, you know, tornado warning or not. But downtown Union looks like it's coming up quick, so it'll be moving in probably in the next 5 minutes or so. So you still got time to get to a closet or a bathtub or anywhere where you can just be away from doors and windows as the storm comes in, because it's certainly packing a punch. Even without the embedded rotation, you've got winds on the order of 50 to 60 miles per hour. And these radar scans can vary a lot, scan to scan, but if there is any area of rotation, that's probably it right there, just to the east of Cross Keys. So that is just northeast of Cross Keys near State Highway 49, near State Highway 215, and it's really the western parts of Union where that most dangerous part of the storm is. I'll zoom out and put a storm track on it for you so we can get an idea of where exactly that's headed. So moving northeast at around 50 miles per hour, that should put it near Union Academy at around 825, Bonham at 828, Lockhart Junction at 831, and then Adamsburg at 834. So if you do have any possible tornado that's in there, that's probably where it is, at least according to kind of what I'm looking at with the Doppler there. But that's not the only tornado warning. So we've got two of them, and we kind of have to go back and forth between them. So zooming the picture out, resetting for everybody who's just tuning in, we've got this big line of storms that's been racing in from northeastern Georgia, and it's now affecting the eastern half of the area. We've already seen it race its way through in Coney County, Pickens County, and Greenville counties. For everybody watching there, all the severe weather is mostly past you, but it's still ongoing for folks in the eastern half of the area. And we've got two active tornado warnings, one of which is for Rutherford County and another one that is for Union County. So let's pause the radar here real quick. First tornado warning is up in Rutherford County. Looks like for the most part, the worst part of the storm is past Polk County. So if you're watching us in Columbus, I think it's safe to give you an all clear from this particular tornado warning. But if you're in Rutherfordton, definitely stay sheltered. Stay put. Get to an interior room, away from doors and windows. If you're listening to us on the radio, if you're along U.S. Highway 64, U.S. Highway 221 up near Gilkey and Green Hill, pull off the road and get to a convenience store if you can help it, or anywhere that will let you indoors. Just to make sure that you're not in a car. It's one of the worst places that you can be during a situation like this is just on the roads with all of the straight line winds, the blinding rain, and of course the possible embedded tornado that we could be seeing within this. It's not quite clear if we have one though. Once you get up into the mountains, of course the radar data gets a little noisy. It picks up on the terrain, so it can be a little hard to tell, but doesn't matter. It's still a situation that you don't want to take any chances. So again, the tornado warning for Rutherford County, I believe, goes until around 8:45. So Dale, we will be sticking with this, and we kind of have to go back and forth since you've got two active warnings at this point. So we've covered Rutherford County. Let's go back to the Union County warning. That looks like
they're adjusting that as we speak.
Yes.
Looks like Chapin now is being included.
Yep,
in a tornado warning.
Yep, down in the Midlands, they've got another tornado warning popping up there along the line. So this one that is coming up on downtown Union right now, still stay put. It's going to be continuing until around 8:45 p.m. Just had a local storm report of straight line wind gusts in Coronacre and Greenwood up to 53 miles per hour. So that's an observed wind gust, and of course the Doppler would support that too. And that just goes to show you, doesn't matter if you're under a tornado warning, still the straight line winds are really packing a punch. So again, the most dangerous parts of the line that we're watching are near Cross Keys, near Bonham, near Adamsburg, downtown Union. You're about to get some really strong winds here in a moment. I'll switch over to velocity, try to see if we can see anything. It's not the most pronounced signature, but if there was any embedded rotation, it would be about there. Unfortunately, if we had if we had a look at, or if we normally we would have live Super Doppler 4 with us, but the data has gone offline. I think as soon as the straight line winds hit the Doppler, we lost data there. So we're using the NextRad site, and with NextRad, we're not getting as frequent of scans. So the couplet itself is probably closer to downtown Union. I would say it's at this point probably about here. If it was tracking northeast at 55 miles per hour. We've also got a live look at I-85 near mile marker 77. Here's what it looks like outside from the SCDOT cameras. As you can see, plenty of ponding on the roads. Whether or not the wind, it's just not the best time to be out in the roads. Let's be real. You've got 2 active tornado warnings, already a lot of heavy rain. But if you do need to be out and about, just be extra careful if you absolutely have to be on the roadways.
The forecast was for 1 to 2 inches of rain today across our region, and this is coming in a very quick period of time. So if you're in an area that is prone to flooding or ponding, be prepared for that, because heavy downpours associated with these thunderstorms that show up on the screen embedded in these areas of yellow or gold, those red areas is where it's really coming down, and that is just to the west of Union and about to impact the Union area with not only strong gusty winds but heavy downpours of rain as well. All this action has been moving very quickly across both Georgia and now South Carolina, headed into the North Carolina area in the next couple of hours. And just ahead of that line of shower and thunderstorm activity showing up on the screen is where we've been seeing these tornado warnings issued by the National Weather Service. Right now we have 3. This is an interesting time of the year as far as how it feels outdoors, because you think of late December, you don't think in terms of these dramatic clashes between warm air and cold air, which create the quick building severe thunderstorms and can spawn the tornadoes within those. So we've got almost a spring-like condition here in late December that is spawning all these tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings across our region. But it is moving very quickly, and by late morning, early afternoon, things will dramatically improve for our area. But count on foggy and again a rainy, stormy weather between now and then. So we've got Rutherfordton area still showing up with a tornado warning, and we have the other one south of Spartanburg, south of Gaffney, impacting areas. And let's give you a quick update on communities that are in the path of these.
Yeah, so this is a squall line track. This is where it will be, you know, the entire line where all the straight line winds are. This will be moving into Gaffney within the next 13 minutes or so. Gaffney ETA for you guys is around 8:39. It's not, I'm not saying that we'll have a tornado in Gaffney and 8:39. I'm just saying that the straight line winds will most likely be moving into the central part of Cherokee County within the next 12 to 13 minutes or so. And then by the time we get to 9 a.m., this should be exiting the region over towards Kings Mountain as you get over closer to the Charlotte area. By the time we get to around 9 a.m., the line is moving fast, so it should be close to Kings Mountain at around that point. So going back to where we have the tornado warnings in effect, we have one for Rutherford County right now. The worst part of the storm itself is on top of downtown Rutherfordton. The possible embedded rotation is going to be near Gilkey on the northern section of that line there, that little that bow echo that you see there. The northern part of it, yeah, the radar data is a little noisy up here, but bottom line is the northern part of that line will probably have some embedded rotation with it. So a good idea to stay sheltered if you can help it. Looks like, you know, the tornadic part of the circulation is going to be missing a lot of folks in the southern sections of Rutherford County. It's mostly straight line winds in Danieltown and soon to be Forest City and Sandy Mush, places like that. And then going back farther south into Union County, the second tornado warning we're watching is in Union County. So this one also continues until 8:45, provided they don't expire ahead of time. But either way, worst of the weather is on top of downtown Union right now. If you're watching us in downtown Spartanburg, you just got hit with a lot of straight line winds. But the actual most dangerous part of the storm, where we have a possible area of rotations, down in Union County. Everywhere else in Spartanburg County, it's mostly just straight line winds, and that looks to be the case for soon to be Cherokee County too. So if we switch over to the velocity data, you do have some possible areas of rotation here, and squall line, or what's called QLCS tornadoes, they can be notoriously hard to identify because they form so quickly and dissipate so quickly. But if you do have anything, this is you could have something there, you might have something there, but it can be like playing whack-a-mole, so to speak, where you have little circulation here, little circulation here, and they can again go up and down pretty fast. So again, Union County, stay sheltered for at least the next 15 minutes or so.
Griffin, we've had a report that about 4,000 people are without power from Greenwood to Greenville. So along that line we've been showing of showers and thunderstorms rumbling across the upstate, obviously there have been some people that have had trees or debris, limbs from trees taking down power lines. So about 4,000 people now without power from this system passing through this morning.
Yeah, so that goes to show you, it doesn't have to be a tornado for it to be problematic.
Right.
And we have winds all up and down this line on the order of 50, 60 miles per hour. We had a recorded gust near Greenwood and Coronaca of 53 mile per hour gusts there. We're almost done. We're almost done with the severe weather. It's about to be exiting towards the east, but still in Union County in particular, stay sheltered. Tornado warning continues for you guys until 8:45, as well as for Rutherford County until 8:45 as well. Worst of that part of the storm is I think it's just barely going to be missing downtown Rutherfordton, where we have some possible rotation, but still straight line winds are a big problem, and we're seeing that right now with trees and power lines getting knocked down, and as Dale just mentioned, 4,000 people without power in our area. So again, let's pause the radar here, going back down towards the south. So you've got some pretty strong straight line winds coming up on Cowpens and soon to be Gaffney, that little section of I-85 where the chutes are. That's where we've got some really strong straight line winds happening there. Moving south down towards Pauline, Pacolet, you're about to get some strong straight line winds too. Then you've got this little section of the line in Union County where we have some possible rotation that's passing, looks like it's just now east of downtown Union, but still, as the warning continues, you want to stay sheltered just to be on the safe side. Don't go out driving in the middle of this, of course.
Folks in Lockhart and Carlisle, be prepared, because this has been a very fast mover, and with heavy winds and heavy downpours of rain as well, it'll be reaching your area in just a matter of a few minutes, as we've been watching the line of thunderstorms race across the upstate 40, 50 miles an hour. So it's been impacting communities to your west, and will soon be in that Lockhart, Carlisle area in the next few minutes. We always tell people, should you find yourself in a storm and you feel like maybe this is a tornado, you're hearing torrential winds outside, go to the interior of your home, away from windows and doors. A small room gives you better protection than a big open room. So a bathroom, closet, perhaps even a laundry room, smaller rooms without windows and doors would be a good place to be safe, and lower level is always better than the upstairs.
That's right, and we've got a little storm track for you. So as Dale just mentioned, Lockhart, be prepared. You've got about 5-ish minutes until this possible area of rotation is coming up on Lockhart Elementary School. Then it should continue up to the northeast, up towards Pinckneyville, and then up towards Bullock Creek by the time we get to around 8:43. As I mentioned a moment ago, we would normally have live Super Doppler 4 available for us, but as soon as the storms came over the Doppler site, the data went offline. I'll check it again just to make sure that that's still the case. But yeah, goes to show you that even in situations like this, yeah, so the data is there, but I think it's outdated slightly. So we'll stick with the NextRad site with the storms that are coming in. You know, we're not immune to situations like this. Again, tornado warning continues for Union County until 8:45 a.m. And the worst of the squall line, the worst of the straight line winds, is on top of Mayo. Looks like it's passing, or has now passed, downtown Spartanburg. It's on top of Pauline, though, and moving towards Gaffney, moving towards Blacksburg, and over towards Boiling Springs, and is now most likely starting to move east of Rutherfordton, the worst of the squall line there. And squall lines are notoriously difficult to pinpoint with tornadoes. Anytime you have the leading edge of a squall line, you can get little spin-ups that form along it, and they can be very short-lived. We're talking 2 to 3 minutes that they could be down or not down, because they can go up and down super fast. But that makes it all the more important that you take these seriously, that they can form in such short notice. There's a new scan of the NextRad site. So there's the squall line, which is now east of downtown Rutherfordton and is coming up on Duncan's Creek and Forest City. It was that northern section of the line where we had some possible rotation with it. Bostic, it's on top of you right now, and then that stretches south into the upstate. So it'll be coming up on Gaffney here in the next probably the next 5 minutes or so. I'll put a storm track on it so you can get an idea of when this will be moving into Cherokee County. So it'll be in Gaffney within 5 minutes at 8:39, Boiling Springs at 8:40. It'll be coming up on Shelby at around 8:48, and then Bellwood at 8:53. And we don't have any possible embedded rotation within that part of the line, but there's still a lot of wind on the order of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Then farther south, you've got this other section of the line, which the northern edge of it might have some rotation with it. Looks like if there's any part of the storm that's the most dangerous, it's going to be right near Lockhart at this point. Right about there, near Adamsburg. It's right just to the north of State Highway 49, where we have some embedded rotation there, that little couplet that you see there. So just to the west of Lockhart, still stay sheltered. If you're near Pinckneyville, that's another spot you want to be extra careful. This little southeastern corner of Cherokee County and the northeastern corner of Union County. This is right on the edge of our area, but stay sheltered near a closet or a bathroom if you can help it.
Griffin, it looks like there's a new area that has just been included under a tornado warning. If you'll go back to the map, you'll be able to see that now more so in the Cherokee County area. Yep, they looks like they just issued a new warning for that. So that's going to be including the eastern sections of Cherokee County. That's going to go until 9:15. So that's going to include Surratt. That's going to include, let's see if we can get some other towns to pop up here. State Highway 105. Any of these places I'm mentioning, get to an interior room away from doors and windows. State Highway 211, Asbury, up near State Highway 105 near Wilkinsville. All these places, get to an interior room away from doors and windows. This includes Blacksburg as well, as this little possible area of rotation kind of moves up to the northeast. It's going to be right in that corner of Cherokee County. I believe it's Cleveland County as well as Union County, right about there where we have some possible rotation, just to the west of Lockhart. That's where the rotation is closest to, is that right near Lockhart, right there, that little couplet. So again, stay sheltered if you can. Don't drive on the roadways. This tornado warning is a new one, and that goes in effect. Well, it's in effect now and goes until 9:15. For Cherokee County, the eastern section of Cherokee County, as this line pushes on in. This has been a very fast-moving system as this line of showers and thunderstorms has taken out power from Greenwood to Greenville. We've had reports of over 4,000 people have lost power because of trees taking down power lines. Doesn't necessarily mean it was a tornado. Severe thunderstorm winds can do the same. They can topple trees, especially after we've had a good bit of rain that has saturated the ground and loosened the roots. And we've seen a lot of trees come down this year, haven't we? We sure have. We're seeing power outages this morning from Greenwood to Greenville. 4,000 plus people without power as we speak. So again, if you're watching and wondering, all right, what does this tornado warning mean? It means there's the potential within these severe thunderstorms of a funnel they've already indicated with Doppler radar, the National Weather Service, rotation within a thunderstorm cloud. And that rotation could form that funnel that we all know as tornadoes and make a touchdown anywhere along that path, and that's why we extend it out quite a ways. It's traveling so quickly at 50 miles an hour across the region. It doesn't take long for it to cover that coverage area. And again, that tornado could touch down anywhere along that path. Hopefully it won't, and we're hoping it won't, but we want to warn people ahead of it to give them a chance to take necessary precautions and go to a safe place in your home, away from windows and doors, downstairs, to ride out severe weather.
Right, so the tornado or not, these storms are still packing a punch. So I've drawn a squall line track on the leading edge of that line that is coming out of Spartanburg County, now moving into Cherokee County. It'll be moving into Gaffney here in the next 2 or 3 minutes, into Shelby within the next 10 minutes or so, Bellwood at around 8:53, and then by around 9 a.m. it should be moving over towards Kings Mountain and exiting the area to the east. Some good news to pass along for folks in Rutherford County. The tornado warning has expired, so the most dangerous part of the storm for folks in Rutherfordton has passed. All clear for everybody who's watching in Rutherfordton. It is not all clear for folks that are watching in eastern Cherokee County. So if you're in Blacksburg, if you're in Surratt in particular, right near Lockhart is where we have the most dangerous part of the storm there. So again, stay sheltered if you're in southern Cherokee County, if you're in eastern Cherokee County or northern Union counties as well, because it's, again, anytime you have a squall line and possible tornadoes, it's kind of like playing whack-a-mole, where you have really fast moving and fast forming couplets that can develop. So they can be really hard to pinpoint. But if there is anything there, the latest scan that we have shows that it's near Adamsburg, Robat, Pinckneyville, and Lockhart. Places like that are within the path of this possible area of rotation. Then you go off to the north, and if you look at the velocity data for the winds that are coming out of Spartanburg County and moving into Cherokee County, if you query some of these, you'll see, you don't need necessarily a tornado for it to be damaging. Those are easily 50 to 55 mile per hour winds that are about to be moving into Gaffney within the next couple minutes. So probably a good idea, tornado or not, to just stay inside if you can help it, especially if you're in Gaffney, if you're in Blacksburg, anybody along State Highway 18, South Carolina 18, lots of really strong straight line winds coming your way. We also got an SCDOT camera at mile marker 91 on I-85. Looks like it's maybe jostling in the wind there a little bit. These are, again, this is right near Gaffney, mile marker 91, right near the outlets there, up near Gaffney. Folks are still on the roadways, but as you can see, yeah, look how much that camera is shaking there. That's mostly just from the straight line winds that are starting to come in. So good idea to stay inside if you can help it. And again, the most dangerous part of the storm is going to be down towards Union County, or at least the southern part of Cherokee County, where we have some possible embedded rotation there.
Griffin, let's take a moment and maybe back out and take a broader look at our coverage area and see what areas are right now under tornado warnings, because that has been a constantly evolving thing throughout the morning. We're watching that one spot, as you can see, just to the north of Union, and that stretches up through Cherokee County. And we also have one just to the north of Columbia area. Not quite in our coverage area, but as you can see, east of Greenwood, that line of thunderstorms now starting to impact the eastern part of the upstate in Midlands and Piedmont area of South Carolina. So a good thing is that Rutherford County area now out of a tornado warning. We still have that spot through parts of Union County, stretching through Cherokee County into York County under a tornado warning for the next few minutes.
That's right. And some other news to pass along. We also have a flash flood warning in effect for Transylvania County. We had a huge burst of heavy rain that came through over the past couple hours. So a flash flood warning is in effect for Transylvania County until 1 p.m. We've had 3 to 4 inches of rain up in this part of our area. So if you're driving up near 276, 178, up towards Brevard and Rossman, avoid driving if you can help it in that area. But more importantly, we've got the tornado warning that's in progress for northern Union County and eastern Cherokee County. Along the northern edge of that little line there is where we have some possible embedded rotation. The good news is it looks like it's past Lockhart now. It says now moves into York County, as Dale mentioned. This is on the edge of our viewing area, but it is tornado or not, it's still packing a lot of straight line winds. Just if you look along the leading edge of the line with these winds that are coming into Gaffney, I mean, you've got easily 50 to 55 mile per hour winds, just 53 miles per hour right there coming into Gaffney. So tornado or not, good idea to stay inside. And Doing another quick reset for you here. So again, if you're watching us in eastern Cherokee County, if you're in Blacksburg, get inside, get to your closet or a bathtub just to be safe. It's not exactly clear that we have a tornado down. Just want to reiterate that. We have some radar indicated rotation, which means a tornado could develop at any moment. But at this point, we don't have any clear indication that a tornado is down. So that gives us a time to do a quick reset. So for everybody who's watching in Greenville County, Anderson County, worst of the weather has passed you. As I'm sure many of you already know, the line is now has now swept over much of our area, but we have still one active tornado warning in effect for eastern Cherokee County and northern Union counties.
Griffin, we just heard we have now over 4,500 people without power from Greenwood to Gaffney. We've been watching that squall line of thunderstorms working its way through the upstate. And again, those 50+ mile-per-hour winds have toppled trees or taken down large limbs that then took down power lines. And 4,500 people are without power between Greenwood to Gaffney.
And that's gone up since over the past half an hour. That was at 4,000 not that long ago. Now it's up to 4,500. And we're not quite through with the line just yet. We're close. It's now moving through Cherokee County, and it's moving out of Union County for the most part, and is moving over towards York and Chester counties. So the tornado warning continues for Union County, but I think I can say with confidence that downtown Union, you're all in the all clear from this particular storm. This is passing north and east of you. The worst of the line is switching back over to velocity just to try to find any couplets in there. Again, this is why we call this radar indicated rotation. There are some parts of the line where it could briefly spin up, but at this point, it's I'm not seeing anything that really jumps out of the screen on me, so the screen at me, so that's good. And if you switch over to the debris tracker, also, you would look for a couplet to be matched up with the debris signature, which normally shows up as a little blue dot on the screen. But good news is we're not seeing that. We're mostly just seeing straight line winds more than anything else. So Gaffney, stay put for just a little bit longer. Same for folks in Blacksburg. If you're near Cherokee Falls, if you're near Draytonville, all these places I'm mentioning, stay indoors and stay off the roads as much as you can help it, because as Dale mentioned, these are already causing some power outages in our area.
And you reported earlier 1 to 2 inches of rain was the expected rainfall from this system today, but we've had double that in certain counties in North Carolina, and therefore we have a flash flood warning. Well, we mentioned just a moment ago that
yes.
Foothills of North Carolina. So watch out those areas that are prone to flooding. And of course, if you're traveling and you come up to anywhere a stream is flowing across the road, never try and go through that. Always, we say it may sound trite, but we say don't drown, drive around. Don't drive through a flooded area like that, because you never can tell whether or not the road has been damaged underneath that flow of water.
Right. So good news to pass along is that the tornado warning for Union County, I believe, has been expired, or at least the most of Union County. You actually still have a little bit of the box there that's kind of hanging around in that northern little sliver of Union County. But again, if you're in Cherokee County, it's coming in hard and fast right now in downtown Gaffney, soon to be coming up on Blacksburg. But as far as any tornadic potential, it's a little hard to tell at this point if we have anything down. The worst thing that we can see right now is that we have straight line winds. Just by looking at the velocity data, I'm not really seeing any couplets that jump out at me, but it's still a situation that you don't want to take any chances. There is a chance that one could form within the next 10 to 15 minutes. So again, tornado warning continues until 9:15 for the eastern sections of Cherokee County and the northern sections of Union County. But the good news is for folks in Union proper, downtown Union, I think we can give you an all clear, because the worst of the weather is passing to the north of you. So there you go. Union County was just trimmed out of the warning there, and this is only going to be in effect for eastern Cherokee County as well as York County, just one county outside our area.
You can see Gaffney about to get heavy winds associated with that line of showers and thunderstorms. In fact, we've seen 50+ mile-per-hour winds with many of these thunderstorms rushing their way across the upstate. And again, strong winds can take down trees, and we've had reports of over 4,500 people who have lost power from Greenwood to Gaffney. So again, that line of thunderstorms has been damaging as far as power is concerned, taking down trees and limbs. Looks like there's a little action going on that map right now, that tornado warning. We'll see if that gets updated here in just a moment, as that line of showers and thunderstorms is traveling so quickly. They've really had to work hard at the National Weather Service to stay ahead of it.
Yeah, they really have. And I'm adding a squall track here. And yeah, it's not often you have to put the input speed at 55 miles per hour, but that's how fast
crazy.
This is moving. Yeah, highway speeds is how fast the squall line's moving. And if you draw that out, it's on top of Boiling Springs right now, but it should be moving into Blacksburg here within the next 5 or so minutes, 8:56 a.m. for you, Grover, and then Kings Mountain after that. So it's now kind of moving past Gaffney. We just got a new scan in from the NextRad site at GSP. Blacksburg, it's coming up on you. Again, within the next 5-ish minutes is when the wind should really start to pick up. Draytonville, it's right on top of you right now, where we're getting 50 to 55 mile per hour winds. Gaffney, it's starting to slow down a little bit, but stay sheltered just in case. But for everywhere else in Union County, okay, so yeah, the worst of the squall line is definitely past Union and Union County. So we can give you an all clear in Union as well as Union County. Same for folks in Lawrence County. The only spot where we're concerned in our area now is Cherokee County. For, if you zoom the picture out, everybody else is just seeing a steady rain. Worst of the severe weather has now passed. The tornado watch is still in effect until 1 p.m. We'll pass along if the tornado watch gets expired prematurely. But at this point, the worst of the weather for the moment is still working its way through Cherokee County. And if you're in Blacksburg in particular, stay indoors. Safe for folks in Cherokee Falls. It's about to get really, really windy in that part of our viewing area as well. If you're in Kings Creek, if you're near Abingdon, places like that, if you're along, State Highway 105 near Wilkinsville, interior room and lowest floor and away from doors and windows. There's
a lot of ponding on the major roads too, so be very careful if you've got travel plans. I'd give it another hour or so and let this get out of here, and then things should be improving dramatically. We're still seeing fog in many areas, and that fog's going to linger into the early afternoon hours over a good bit of the upstate and mountains. But again, we've had quite a bit of rain, and of course, very strong winds associated with these thunderstorms, and 4,500 people are without power from Greenwood to Gaffney is the last report we've heard.
And the only spot where there might be a little bit of embedded rotation might be right there near just to the west of Abingdon. That would be coming up on Abingdon within the next 4 minutes, near Broad River Baptist Church at around 8:58 a.m. and near Smyrna Baptist Church at around 9 a.m. So any of these places, anywhere that's near any of these places, if you know anybody, maybe you want to give them a quick text saying, hey, the storm looks pretty bad right now. Maybe want to get to an interior room, get to shelter if you can help it. Not a good time to be out driving, that's for sure. So that little possible area of rotation is going to be just on top of State Highway 105 south of Cherokee Falls. We are seeing this move through pretty quickly at around 55 miles per hour. And again, it'll be out of here in a hurry. And as Dale mentioned, the weather will be much more calm for the rest of the day today once we get to the afternoon and the system passes. But at least for now, we still have to take it pretty seriously, especially if you're in eastern Cherokee County. The tornado warning continues until 9:15. We'll have to wait and see if that gets expired ahead of time. But worst of the squall line is now in the far eastern sections of the upstate, soon to be moving towards the Charlotte area.
It's really hard to imagine, but when you think of the giant mountain that a cumulonimbus cloud is, that it's moving across the landscape at the speed of a car going down the road at 55 miles an hour, that gives you an idea how the National Weather Service has really had to work hard to project out the path of these storms and give people a heads up, so should they be in the path of a tornado, that they can get to an interior part of their home and be prepared and away from windows and doors, because it's just moving so quickly across the area.
And we've got an SCDOT camera to show you. This is closer to the state line with North Carolina. This is mile marker 99 south of Blacksburg. This is where business is about to really pick up. You see folks on the roadway there. I'm glad that the construction in that part of the interstate has been completed because driving on concrete surfaces in conditions like this, that's where it can get really dicey because concrete is a little bit more slippery than asphalt. But as you see there, it's paved with asphalt, so there's a little bit more grip on the road. Anytime you have ponding on the roads in roads like this, it can be definitely dodgy. But good idea to stay inside and just be off the roads if you can help it. Still got a tornado warning in effect for the eastern sections of Cherokee County. Again, that DOT camera you just saw there is at mile marker 99, which is right near Blacksburg, right in this general area. This is about where the squall line is about to come up on, where the winds are really about to pick up. When we had this squall line moving through Greenville, we had the Hilton Greenville sky camera up, and it was going crazy. We had trees that were going all over the place, not getting knocked over, but they were just getting certainly shoved around in the wind, let's say. So the good news is that for folks in Union County, we can give you an all clear. Looks like they just extended a severe thunderstorm warning for folks over towards, for folks that are over in the Charlotte area, over towards Gaston County and over towards Cleveland County. They're tagging it with a tornado possible, which is not quite the same thing as a tornado warning. They're saying that basically what I've been saying is that, you know, when you have a squall line like this, you can have little spin-ups that can form along the leading edge of the line really, really quickly. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. So far as we know thus far, we have not had any confirmed tornadoes down. This is just a situation where you can very quickly have a tornado that forms and then dissipates, all in the matter of just a couple of minutes. And at this point, I haven't seen any debris signatures on radar. We're just talking about radar indicated rotation, but that doesn't mean that we can just discount it. It's still a situation that you don't want to take any chances, and you want to play it safe as much as you can. So again, the possible area of rotation is going to be somewhere within the line, if we have anything, between Surratt and Blacksburg. And if you switch over to velocity data, this has been the situation for most of the morning thus far, where we have some very small little areas of possible rotation, but luckily nothing that really jumps out at the screen at me. But still, you want to take it seriously. So again, if you're in Blacksburg, worst of the weather's coming up on you now. Worst of the weather is now past Gaffney, and it's coming up on Cherokee Falls. So anybody who's near Cash and Crossroads, Kings Creek, anybody who's along State Highway 5 going south of Blacksburg and going down towards Kings Creek, still want to stay in your interior room away from doors and windows if you can help it. But for everyone else, luckily, the good news is that the line is now quickly exiting our area. So for the vast majority of us who are just tuning in, the worst of the weather has passed most of us. If you're in Greenville County, Spartanburg County, Lawrence County, most of this has passed you. But again, if you're in eastern Cherokee County, still something that you want to take seriously as the tornado warning continues for about the next 15 to 20 minutes.
And severe thunderstorm warnings extend up into North Carolina. So if you're traveling on 40, you're going to run into that line of showers and thunderstorms, as you can see east of Asheville. And so that entire area under a severe thunderstorm warning for the next little bit too. So be very careful. I tell this story, Griffin, it was several years ago, but there had been a day very similar to this where we were tracking storms across the state. And we kept talking about, you know, this county under a tornado warning, this county under a tornado warning. There was a family in the Gaffney area that kept watching this saying, oh, they keep talking about tornadoes. And that one had not reached from the cloud to the ground until it finally got to Gaffney. And it hit a home. The family said, oh my gosh, this must be what they're talking about, because the winds got horrendous. They ran to their laundry room for protection, huddled down, heard horrendous noise, and when it was all over and they opened the laundry room door, they could see the sky. because that was the only thing left of their house.
Good
was
grief.
that laundry room. So that's the reason we spend so much time talking about this, because no one, including the National Weather Service, knows when a potential tornado is actually going to come down and do its horrific damage on the surface.
Right.
Until it does.
Right.
So we have to warn people out in advance of that to give them a heads up just in case.
Exactly. Yeah, it's that kind of setup where it's setups like this are really tricky because it can happen in a very short amount of time and then go back up in a very short amount of time, and it's very difficult to pinpoint exactly when that's going to happen, and that's been the kind of potential that we've been working with for most of the morning so far today. So we're very close to this exiting the region towards the east. It's now in that little eastern corner of Cherokee County, right on top of downtown Blacksburg. We just got a new scan of the radar where the worst of the weather is on top of downtown Blacksburg right now, and very quickly moving into the Charlotte area. So up into parts of Cleveland County, up near Shelby, you've got tons of heavy rain and strong winds happening. And if we look over again just one more time at the velocity data, this has been the story for most of the morning, where it's possible that we have some embedded rotation in there, but again, nothing that jumps out the screen. Still not a time that you want to take a chance. Still want to stay sheltered for sure. So again, if you're watching us in Gaffney, if you're watching or listening in Gaffney, I think we can give you an all clear. This is going to be past you now. It's mostly for folks in Blacksburg and mostly for folks in Smyrna that are in that far eastern edge of Cherokee County. Kings Creek, another spot that you want to stay indoors as much as possible if you can help it. Cache and Crossroads is on top of you now. Cherokee Falls, it's now in the process of slowing down. Draytonville also starting to slow down a little bit. I think we can give you an all clear if you're in Draytonville. And if you're over towards Gaffney itself, Thickety, Cowpens, most of these places that are farther west, all clear for you as well. It's only really that far eastern corner where we have at least some possibility that one of these brief spin-ups could develop over the next couple of minutes.
If you're just joining us, 4,500 people lost power this morning across our region from Greenwood to Gaffney because of the line of thunderstorms and the strong gusty winds that have taken down trees and power lines. So watch out if you've got any travel plans. There could be debris in the road just about anywhere in the upstate from that line of thunderstorms. So be very careful. Best advice, wait a little bit longer and things will calm down. But we've still got some heavy downpours of rain associated with these storms.
Yep, a lot of heavy rain rolling through Cherokee County right now. We've also got another DOT camera to show you. This is going to be at mile marker 105, or right near mile marker 105, right at the state line with North Carolina and South Carolina, right near Blacksburg. So you can see the rain coming down there. Folks on the roadways, hopefully taking it nice and slow. You got those trucks going by there. Probably a good idea to pull over if you're listening on the radio, just to be safe. You know, you don't want to be. I think the biggest issue I always run into if I'm caught in a storm like this is just visibility. Anytime you have tons of heavy rain and wind at the same time, you can hardly see, a couple hundred feet in front of you. So if you're watching us or listening to us on the radio in the far eastern edge of Cherokee County, probably a good idea to pull over if you can help it, because the tornado warning is in effect until 9:15. We'll have to wait and see if that expires ahead of time, but almost finished with this line that's about to exit our region to the east. It's on top of Blacksburg right now, and is right on top of that state line area between Cherokee County and Cleveland County.
The line is broken a little bit. We've got parts of it impacting, as we've been showing, Cherokee County and York County, but also you can see the town of York and McConnell's. That line kind of continues down through Chester, producing heavy downpours of rain and strong gusty winds along that line too. So watch out if you've got travel in the I-77 corridor, because it's about to hit that area in the next 10-15 minutes.
Yep, and that part of the line is what prompted a tornado warning for Union County earlier. That little this little section here. When it was coming through Union County, it moved up like that and prompted a tornado warning for Union County. So hopefully folks in downtown Union, hopefully you're doing okay. If you've got any storm reports to pass along, feel free to let us know if you have any damage in the area, because it's possible that we had some trees knocked down with all the wind that came through. Don't quite know yet whether or not we had a tornado. I will say that so far, everything I've seen thus far has mostly just been radar indicated rotation. I have not seen any big debris signatures. That would be a telltale sign that we had large tornadoes on the ground, but so far that has not been the case. If we've had anything so far this morning, it's mostly just been a very quick spin up that briefly developed and then dissipated, and that remains the case right now with this little last section of the line that is moving through Cherokee County. So for folks that are watching us in Kings Creek, still want to stay put. Don't go out driving if you can help it. Just wait a few minutes for this to calm down. But I guarantee you by the time we get to around 9:30, this will be out of here and we'll be done with it. But for folks that are trying to go out and about early this morning in Cherokee County, stay put for a little bit longer. We've had numerous reports of power outages as well, 4,500 that you see just in spanning from Greenwood to Gaffney. So that is where the line just passed through. So you can, that's an obvious indication that the winds are still the main concern with this, strong straight line winds. And it doesn't matter if there's a tornado or not, severe thunderstorm winds are happening all across our area at this point.
If you had travel plans to Charlotte today, give yourself a little more time, because that you may be okay through Gaffney and Blacksburg, but just east of Blacksburg, you'll run right through that heaviest of the downpours and strong gusty winds. So give it about another hour, and that should push on through and be out of the way and allow a safer trip to the Charlotte area.
Yep, and we've got a new scan of the radar that just came in. So looks like the squall line has now passed Blacksburg and is now exiting towards the east into the Charlotte area. Switching over to velocity again, still not seeing any big obvious indication of a tornado down. It's just a situation where one could very quickly develop in a short amount of time. But more good news there is that that does not appear to be the case, and it is very quickly moving towards the east, racing towards Kings Mountain at around 55 miles per hour. This line was in Georgia just 3 hours ago. That's how quickly it raced across our area, and now it's in the process of moving towards the Charlotte area. And we're almost through with it, everyone. I know we've been on the air for a good bit, but we'll stick with this little tornado warning that's in Cherokee County just a little bit longer, and then we will be able to send you back to regular programming. But for the vast majority of us watching in Anderson, Greenville, Asheville, all these places I'm mentioning, the worst of the weather is now past. There's still a tornado watch that remains in effect until 1 p.m. We'll have to wait and see if that gets expired ahead of time. The main thing that we were worried about was possible spin-ups developing along that line that's right there moving through Cherokee County. But as you can see, most of us are starting to see things wind down a little bit, but still want to stick with this warning just a little bit longer. So looks like the worst of the squall line is now past Blacksburg. It's now quickly moving into northern York County and over towards Cleveland and Gaston counties, over towards Kings Mountain and Crowder's Mountain, over in that part of the Carolinas.
We talked about the speed of the squall line when I came in early this morning. It was right along the Alabama-Georgia line. And so like a car making a trip across the southeast, in just a matter of a few hours, it is raced across Georgia and now South Carolina, heading toward the North Carolina line. So it has been a very fast mover with a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and still with 50-mile-per-hour winds in those areas that are highlighted on the TV screen in the red. So be careful, especially with trees and power lines that have been impacted by this system. Over 4,500 people lost power between Greenwood and Gaffney this morning just because of that. So severe thunderstorms can do a lot of damage with that wind, obviously, and heavy downpours of rain causing flooding in a couple of counties in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's right, Dale. Flash flood warning continues for Transylvania County until 1 p.m. So if you're driving in that area, probably if you have to drive in that area, don't do it for a little while because there will be ponding on the roadways. So heads up for you guys there. Also, heads up for folks traveling towards Charlotte. Not a good idea to be on the roadways now with all the heavy rain that's moving in. But some good news to pass along. The tornado warning has now expired for Cherokee County. It is now only including what looks like York County. So we can give you an all clear for folks in Cherokee County. Still be mindful of all the ponding on the roads or trees or power lines that could be down in the roadways. The tornado watch will continue until 1 p.m. We will pass along if the watch expires here on WYFF4. But now that the tornado warning has now cleared our area and has now moved into the Charlotte area, we can give you an all clear for folks in Cherokee County and Union counties. Tornado warning has expired, so that is definitely some good news to pass along. I'm meteorologist Griffin Hardy, meteorologist Dale Gilbert in here with us as well as we continue to watch these storms as they roll through. And again, that watch will continue till 1 p.m. If it expires ahead of time, we will pass it along. Or if we get another warning, we'll be back in to break into regular programming. But for now, we'll send you back to regular programming.